I'm going to talk today a little bit about an industry that you may not have heard of if you're a small business owner. So, this industry is called business brokerage. And if you've never sold a business, there would be no reason for you to have heard of it. And if you've never bought a business, same thing. But when you will want to learn about this industry is when you decide that it may be time to sell your business. Now, you can do several things when you want to sell your business. You can sell it yourself. You can enlist the assistance of a lawyer, an accountant, and you could list it on any one of there's tons and tons of websites now that you can list businesses for sale. But the problem with that is that it's much harder than it seems. And the reason that it's harder than it seems is not because of the nuts and bolts of all the information that has to be exchanged or agreeing to a price. That's tough. But where it's really difficult is for the seller, the business owner. It's emotional. And if you find a buyer for your business that's never bought a business before, it can be emotional for them too. Buyers can get spooked easily. They don't know what they're looking at. So they can see red flags where there really aren't red flags. Sellers can tend to, when buyers and sellers get together and have conversations, I have noticed them. So I prefer the term business owner than seller, but business owners can tend to share too much information too soon. So the process of buying and selling a business is a dance. It's a little bit like dating. You will have an email and a phone call first, and then you'll maybe meet for a coffee, and then maybe you'll go for dinner. Anyway, you get the picture. It's like that. And if you skip any of the steps and rush ahead to the next step by just maybe over coffee telling somebody that you ideally want to get married and have kids, that would be too soon. And that can happen too when some of the information is shared prematurely about the business. Because as a business owner, you want a business buyer to feel, you want them to feel about your business the way you do. So why am I telling you this? That's where a business broker can come in. If they're a good broker, they can actually help you. They will get to know your business. They will value your business for you, and then they will engage with buyers in such a way that they help them to understand the business. They'll bring you both together. They're like a matchmaker, really. I guess dating is the theme for this video, but a business broker is like a matchmaker. The business owner has a certain type of buyer they would like to sell to, and I'll give you an example. So I have a business brokerage firm, which is the point of this conversation and me having some knowledge on it. But I had a business owner that they didn't care who they sold to. It was the dollar amount was the most important thing. And that was it. The dollar amount was higher than they were really going to be able to command, but they were willing to wait it out to see if they could get that money. Now, I worked with another business owner that they had a very specific type of buyer that they didn't want. So that meant that as the business broker, we have to screen out those buyers. And there's an art to it, because you have to be able to be firm, but also non-offensive, because if somebody is more than qualified to buy a business and they like the business and they want to see everything about the business, and you know that they're not the buyer that the business owner wants, then you have to, the job of the business broker is to respectfully move them along and show them something else. Now, if you were doing that by yourself as the business owner, that would be hard. You could end up getting into which is having to deal with difficult conversations, I think. So that industry, the business brokerage industry, is there to serve people that are looking to buy and sell businesses. So if that's something that you're thinking about and you would like to learn more about what exactly business brokers do, you can comment broker in the comments for this video, and I'll be happy to share some resources with you. There is an association or an organization called the IBBA, which is the International Business Brokers Association, and the gold standard association globally for business brokers. And there are also local regional associations. So you can look up those online to learn more information. Other things that you should know about business brokerage. I do believe that there are some shifts happening in the industry. I know that I've heard business brokers say that you shouldn't work with a broker that takes a retainer, that this should be success fee only. I am hearing some business brokers are taking a retainer, and I'll tell you the reason for that. So even though you're paying, it's a success fee. So the broker does all the work up front, just like a real estate agent, but it's a lot more work than a real estate agent. They do a detailed valuation of the business. You think about everything you have to get together: tax returns, profit and loss, employee lists, furniture, fixtures and equipment, inventory, leases, website details, email lists, like all of the tangible and intangible assets of the business. The broker has to be able to gather all of that up. Now they work on a success fee, which means that they make a commission when the business sells, but some brokers are starting to take a retainer, and I'm not sure if the industry will shift that way fully, but sometimes people will, and I have seen this personally, sometimes people will not be necessarily 1,000% committed to selling, and they will give the listing to a broker, and then they won't really help themselves to sell the business. I actually had a situation where I had 3 full asking, all cash offers for a business owner, and they couldn't move any further through the process other than receiving the offers. They just weren't committed to selling. So in that instance, the broker won't receive any money. Fine, that's fair. That's what they've signed up for. But I think there could be a shift towards a retainer, because if somebody pays a retainer towards the service, they're gonna think through whether they really want to sell the business or not. So I wouldn't be put off if I came across that. I don't think that's industry standard. I think most people would say don't work with a broker that takes a retainer, but I think that might change in the future. And other things to know if you want to work with a broker: communication is really important. How will you be updated on what's happening? How will they source your ideal buyer? Do you have an ideal buyer? And something else that's really important if you are going to work with a broker or explore this to sell your business is full transparency. I would just be completely honest about everything. They'll sign a confidentiality agreement. I sign those with all my clients. And the more you can tell the broker, the more you can just get all the skeletons out of the closet, the better a job they can do for you. Because if they have your business listed and then they find out something that could potentially be a showstopper and you didn't mention it because you weren't comfortable, that's pointless. It's the only person that's hurting is yourself and your broker who's trying to do a good job for you.